Kenneth Copeland has done so many things wrong. It seems like every year we get a soundbite that's either ungodly, not theological, or just plain old stupid. There was the COVID-19 thing.
COVID-19! COVID-19! Burn!
Then he tried to act like he was cutting himself on stage as a part of a communion demonstration, and he was cutting himself on stage and then having the other person act like they were drinking his blood.
Pour that in there. Okay.
That's the cutting of the covenant. And then I would do the same.
Jesus said, take this cup. This is my blood of the new covenant.
And countless other antics that you can find on YouTube that probably span the past 10, 15 years. And this is just another antic. So there was a video that my wife pointed out to me, sent to me, that Larry Reed posted on his socials a few days ago. And it says, the caption above is, "The devil is a gorgeous ebony black, like the black man." And then it says Kenneth Copeland is Larry Reed Live sticker. So let's watch and go through and see what Kenneth Copeland talking about.
Completely convinced he's ebony black.
And he just sits there. And it's a black man in the front row.
Has the white man, the yellow man, the brown man, anyone been persecuted like the black man? No. Why? Well, the color of the skin. That's what I'm trying to get over to. I'm convinced he was ebony black and gorgeous. Have you ever seen ebony, the wood itself and the grain? And he had musical instruments built within him. Everything but the trumpet, that's God's. Phil Driscoll let me know that for sure. Now, to me, that answers a big question.
So he says that the devil is gorgeous ebony black, and then tries to talk about like the color on like wood grain or whatever. But let's go back and start from the top. So,
Completely convinced he's ebony black.
So not just like black or darkness, but he says he's convinced. We don't have full context. I give you the benefit of the doubt, people. We don't have full context, but we don't need full context because this is purely enough. He said he's convinced that the devil is ebony black. So when you say ebony black, you're talking about black like chocolate, like ebony, like how the magazine cover, how they label black people ebony and ivory, like brown skin. He's saying the devil is like a gorgeous ebony black, like the black man or the black woman, right? So what would possess you to say and then release like a video, or release this message, whatever this message was titled, release the message and say that the devil is ebony black? What would possess you, like in 2025? Like you're not thinking straight. You're 88 years old as of today's date. You're 88 years old. You just say whatever. You barely open up scriptures unless it's the same 5 or 10 scriptures. But what would possess you to get on Al Gore's internet and say something like this and think that there wouldn't be repercussions? And then it's a black man sitting in the front row, bro. We've been lining this man's pockets for years. I'm ashamed to say that I've been to a Southwest Believers conference that was in like Fort Mill or wherever it was, like 6 to 8 years ago. I'm ashamed to say that I've been to one of those things, but something always was off to me about him. I more so went for Creflo Dollar and the Bill Winston and whoever else was there. That's what more so I went for rather than him. But like, we've been lining this man's pockets for years. He has him, Jerry Savelle, rest in peace, and Jesse Duplantis been lining they pockets with black folk money for years, and black folk support and black church support, because the black people that teach the word of faith doctrine, they teach the word of faith doctrine. They come from him. They come from him. They come from Fred Price. They come from Jesse Duplantis, and they come from Jerry Savelle and Bill Winston and Creflo. All the word of faith teachers that you know today, they get all their game and all their wisdom and all their knowledge and all their gems. They get it from him. Him, Kenneth Hagin, and the rest of the guys I just named. That's where they get it from. But it's a black man sitting in the front row. You gonna say that? I'm like, I wonder how it feels like as a black man, like you sitting in the front row, like, and he says the devil look like you. That's why my thumbnail it is, because it's like, he said the devil look like me. Like, we don't have no, like, he said he's convinced that the devil is a gorgeous ebony black, like a black man, based off of the fact that the black people, our race, we get scrutinized, and there's more persecution, and there's more scrutiny and racism, all this stuff. And it's just like, one, that doesn't even make any sense, because if he looked like us, why, if he did look like us, why would you cause the racism for people that look like you? Right? And another thing, the devil is a spirit, right? The angels are spirits. The devil is a spirit, right? He does not, we don't have anything. It says he's an angel of light who can transform to look like ministers of righteousness. We don't have anything about what he looks like. We just have scriptures that say he was an angel of light, and that he can transform, him and his devils can transform into ministers of righteousness. Nothing in the word says anything about the devil being an ebony black. This is his own mind, convoluted mind, that says this. So it's just like, where do you get this from? And then he just stands there, and I'm like, look at how he's looking, like he's trying to gather his thoughts.
Why?
And then acting shocked, because, like I said, he's 88 years old, and we've been platforming him. He should have sat down a long time ago and let somebody else talk, but he's still getting online because there's still an audience. There's still people. There's still white people, black people, Hispanics, whatever, that still like what he got to say and still in this word of faith movement. And we've been platforming. He's 88. He need to sit his butt down like Joe Biden. And he's older than Joe Biden, ain't he? He need to sit his butt down.
Has the white man, the yellow man, the brown man, anyone been persecuted like the black man? No. Why? Well, the color of the skin. That's what I'm trying to get over to.
Yeah, so he's associating, like, has any, like, he's trying to associate the racism that we experience as black people and attribute it to the fact that the devil's black, and trying to attribute it to that. Like, really? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm convinced he was ebony black.
And the thing, ebony black, they refer to, we use according to them, like, my ebony queen, my ebony king. Like, we use that term to describe how we look. So he's not talking about, like, black is like my phone, like, or darkness. Darkness would have been better. Darkness. I think he's full of darkness and he looks like darkness. Okay, cool. Ain't nobody. You say ebony black? That's like a black man.
Gorgeous. Have you ever seen ebony? The wood itself and the grain. And he had musical instruments built within him. Everything but the trumpet, that's God's. Phil Driscoll let me know that for sure.
And then people just get over it. They're like, y'all just let him.
Now, to me, that answers a big question.
They just let him say all this stuff. Like they just let him say all of these things, and it's just like for years, like the way he teaches the Bible, he does not open his Bible. He may look at a scripture once or twice, and then for the rest of the 45 minutes or the 30 minutes, man, he's just walking around talking off the top of his head. What pertaining to whatever he's talking about, going down these convoluted rabbit holes, saying that the devil is a gorgeous ebony black man or is gorgeous ebony black. Like what? Like how does that make your black supporters feel? Or how is that supposed to make your black supporters feel when they hear you say that the devil looks like them? Like how does that do for certain black people's mental who can't take that this man's crazy, he needs to sit his butt down somewhere? How does that work, right? And then you got black people sitting in the front row supporting you, and you say the devil look like you. It's like, how would that make you feel? Like I know me hearing that, I'm like, oh, he's ignorant. Like, oh, he's full of it. Oh, he's convoluted. Oh, this is stupid. Why would you let this air? Why would you not delete it? Who do you have around you? And I put this in my notes, but I'm like, who do you have around you, and what accountability do you have around you that lets you say whatever you want? And the thing is, him and the rest of those guys that are like him, they don't have any accountability. They're not accountable to nobody because they're darn near 100 years old, right? Everybody that works for you, they work under you. They don't work side by side with you. They put out the videos, they put out the graphics, they organize the materials, and you just show up off your jet and you show up and you speak and you go back home and you talk to your wife and you go back home and you go to sleep. They work for you. There's nobody that you have to be accountable to because you're 88 years old. There's nobody you're sitting here saying, hey, did I do this right? Did I do that right? Oh, that wasn't, oh, you shouldn't have said that, right? Only time he probably would get sat down or get a talking to is if he said the N-word, which I'm sure he probably have. That's the only time he'd probably get a stern talking to, is if he said the N-word or said something more blatantly racist than saying the black man looked like the devil. That's the only time, but that's the problem with him and these other guys. They're not accountable to anybody, right? So when you're not accountable to anybody in ministry, and because you the chief at this point, you the chief, you 88 years old, you the chief, you just go up there and say whatever you want. And there's nobody holding you accountable to make sure that you don't say stupid stuff like this and ruin the reputation of your ministry, which I doubt it is ruined because I haven't really heard anybody talking about it, which makes me think that the clip might be a bit old, but who knows? It looks present day. He looks like how he looks in 2025. It looks present day, but who knows? I haven't heard much people talking about it on YouTube or anything, so it might be an old clip, but if it is, if it ain't, it's still unacceptable. So in the end, I think that us black people should stop supporting Kenneth Copeland. So I really stop supporting all of the Word of Faith teachers, but specifically Kenneth Copeland, especially after this remark, stop supporting, stop platforming, stop sending your money over there to Believers Voice of Victory, stop sending your money over there to the Southwest Believers convention, stop going to the conventions and reading the books and listening to the messages, delete your tapes, all that stuff, because he ain't been right since the 80s. So, and that's the messages that I found that were of some sort of sense before he started getting into the crazy stuff was the 80s. That seems like it was like the golden era where the money and the power and you weren't drunk off of your own wine and smelling yourself was the 80s for most of these guys, the 70s and the 80s. And then the money and everything started coming in, and then you started getting convoluted and polluted and all that stuff. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. What you think about him saying that he thinks the devil looks like a black man or looks ebony black. Let me know how you feel in the comments below about that. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share this video out with a friend, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.